Hi, I'm really pleased to be joined today by CEO of the Peace Hall Trust, Nicky Chance-Thompson. Thanks for joining us, Nicky.
Hello, Lee.
Wonderful. So I've asked you today because obviously the Peace Hall is part of the fabric of Halifax, and the idea about the event is that we're supporting communities, the sports club, and in fact, you know, the rugby club. I know you were there at the Challenge Cup draw not long ago with Wilf.
Yes, indeed. That was really good fun.
Yeah,
Thoroughly
so
enjoyed that.
sadly, it was a short cup run, so will kind of gloss over that at this point. I don't think you
Yeah,
had
I
anything
know.
to do with the cup exit, but why don't you tell people watching just what's happening at the piece? Obviously, the doors are closed, but I know there's a bit like the swan on the water. There's lots happening below the water and the surface.
Yes, there are, Lee. Although the doors are closed, we haven't gone completely to sleep. Obviously, we had to shut all the bars, restaurants and shops during the pandemic, but we haven't stopped work, really. We've been cooking up lots of meals in our kitchen for Food for Heroes, which have gone out to key workers and those working on the front line. So my chefs, Simon Dyson and Carl, have been busy down there in the kitchens creating beautiful food, which I'm told are going down very well at Calderdale Hospital at the moment. And we'll be delighted to, of course, welcome everybody back, particularly some of the key workers, for a lovely meal at the trading rooms when we're allowed to reopen safely. We're also looking at ways at the moment in which we could reopen the Peace Hall. We have Just Gaia, who is one of our kind of food tenants, currently sending out food boxes, veg boxes, doing home deliveries for those who are shielding. So they've got the opportunity to have fresh fruit and vegetables, lovely cheeses and drinks, and they make the best orange juice. It's very addictive. It's lovely at Just Gaia. Just saying, it's very, very nice. We've also been planning and recalibrating as an exec team how we can reopen, what that might look like, looking at emerging guidance. And I'm joining a series of webinars and calls this week to understand what tourism may look like, doing some sharing with lots of other destinations across the region, understanding what hospitality might look like, what events are going to look like. Things are going to look very different, but it's how we try and bring people back into the world and into life again, but in a safe way. And I think the government's messages at the moment are, we need to get back to normal slowly, but be very cautious. We can't stay locked up forever. That's not going to be good for everybody. So it's how we start to emerge from that safely. And we see the Peace Hall's role is really twofold. There's community resilience. So how do we support the community through and post-pandemic? And some of the things that we've been doing, as well as the food parcels and food deliveries and so on, has also been some great virtual online activities for children and families. I know that some of my friends are tearing their hair out trying to do childcare, work from home, dogs and cats. We have interesting voices and noises coming onto Zoom calls. It's all the fun. I've met everybody's dogs and cats at the Peace Hall, I think. They've all made an appearance on camera at some point. But really just how we help people process what's happened, what's happening post-pandemic. And in the meantime, remembering that the Peace Hall is there and it will be there for everybody to come back to and enjoy. And we will get back to joining together and we will meet again and all those good things that the Queen and Her Majesty have said. That will happen, but we have to do it slowly and cautiously and following guidance to make sure that everyone's safe. We're looking at how we can turn the courtyard into a very well spaced out dining area, a bit like what they're doing in Lithuania, just to help the smaller businesses thrive and continue to trade in some way. We've got a chief safety officer who's been supporting government on some initiatives to come up and have a look at the Peace Hall, because we have an open air courtyard, we have open air galleries. So in many ways it's safer, and it will be safer to shop here than it will be in a supermarket, because you've actually got the courtyard and the outside space. So that allows us to do perhaps some different things that shopping centres and other places can do. So we're looking at how we can reopen safely, engaging people in the Peace Hall online in the meantime. And of course we won Welcome to Yorkshire's most iconic destination, seeing on the York Minster, Fountains Abbey, and we had the Calderdale Massive come out in force voting for the Peace Hall. So thank you, everybody that voted for us. That gave everybody a much needed lift, not only in the team, but in Calderdale. And of course, Shibden Mill got crowned Best Restaurant. Yep. Congratulations to Shibden Mill. So there's lots to look forward to. We haven't gone away. We're just in aspic, ready to wake up when it's safe to do so. But you will come back, and we are trying to give our thanks to the NHS and other people on the front line through the weekly light-ups that we have. We've been blue, we've been red for the post office, who have been tremendous in Calderdale, dressing up and making the children, not to mention the adults, laugh at some of the outfits they've been wearing. But again, I've been so impressed by the community spirit of Calderdale. We are really good in a crisis. And I saw that happening, and how quickly those groups galvanised around the flooding that we had at the beginning of the year, and how those groups have come together to help those most vulnerable or struggling with lockdown since the pandemic started. So Calderdale Council, the Community Foundation for Calderdale, all of the voluntary groups have been absolutely tremendous. And my thanks to them for how they're helping us get through this, as well as to the NHS, of course, who have just been superb.
Fantastic. And if people want to keep up to date with what's happening at the Peace Hall, first place for information, social media, on the website, that type of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I'd encourage people to become members of the Peace Hall. We would really welcome that, Lee, because although we're in receipt of some emergency funding, as I say, I want to keep the Peace Hall in aspect, but I also want to reopen. So any help that you can give us, whether it's supporting our traders who have got some online shops that they've managed to get organised really quickly, whether it's through becoming a member of the Peace Hall so that we can reopen it and keep it reopen. But come online at thepeacehall.co.uk. As I said, we're doing regular kind of virtual activities, visits to the Peace Hall virtually, and some really interesting things that you can take part in. So, don't forget us. We're still here, and we'll still be here.
And it's worth remembering, folks, that the Peace Hall is actually a charitable trust that runs that organisation. I know they do a lot for the community that Nicky doesn't always want to talk about, because it's about, sometimes under the radar stuff, just making sure that people are taken care of and happy. And I know, again, we won't cover it on this call, but there was a very generous offer out to the tenants in terms of rent-free periods, and it was really placing those tenants first so that they could have some breathing space. So thanks for joining us. But I think before we leave, any moments of sporting prowess for you or Marcus to report during the lockdown?
Marcus has started rowing again, albeit upstairs on a rowing machine. So he's going to be like a Greek god. I can't say what's going to be said for me at the end of this. I seem to be growing to my chair, Lee, as opposed to shrinking. I was hoping to come out of this bronzed and buff, but I'm afraid it's not going to happen for me. I'm going to be pale and interesting, and severely needing to go on a diet. But hey ho.
I think you'll be in very good company with all of us there. So thanks for joining us, Nicky. Thanks everybody. Really appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll make sure there's some links in the commentary below here this weekend. But do get behind the Peace Hall and their traders. They've got some great people, from loafers to Jiscaya to too many to mention, even Harvey's. All these guys really do need the support. And if it's not now, certainly as we come out of the other side. So thanks, Nicky, and enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks, Lee.